Hello there everyone, this is I am Mark III and welcome to Santa's Workshop, where we make all the toys for Christmas. Yes. No, not really. Welcome to Little Big Workshop. One of the recent games to emerge in the factory management simulation game sector. Series. Genre. That's the word, the genre. Yeah. And we play on our own little game board, managing a factory of little gnome people. Slightly cutesy art style, as you can see in the background here. But basically we're just playing on a table. So I guess you could call this a tabletop game? Dum-dum. Yeah. Okay, our factory. Ionium. We are the Ionium factory. Because, unfortunately, factory name doesn't give us a space. So let's go ahead. Right. So the goal is to keep our factory ticking over. Because we need money to survive. But we also need to progress to make contacts outside of our little world. And develop business links and things like that as well. So here we go, as you can see. Just a little model game, really. Okay, and because I've already taken a poke at this game, I'm going to skip the tutorial. I will tell you what I'm doing, though, as we go. So we start off in just this part of the board, but we get, well, we can expand quite a bit. I've not actually really expanded much. I've not played that far into the game, but it is possible to get more space. But as you can see, this is like a very messy workspace here. Lots of doodling and plans and like a little half-built sort of thing. Well, it's built, but it's not really painted. And Crazy Steve's How to Carve a Gnome. Crazy Steve with Lucas Kellern. Makes me want to carve gnomes again. By Hank Looney, the Daily Something. Okay. What's that? Sticky Chameleon, Universal Hobby Glue. And there's a calculator saying hello. Actually, in my test game, that calculator was over here. I think the contents of all this is actually a bit randomly generated, if I'm being honest. Except for one thing, which is the phone. What's that one? Oh, smiley face. Something nah bars. Something best friend. Eat responsibly. For working all. I want to see what the. Actually, I'd rather like having that kind of chocolate. It's I hope that's a real thing. I'm sorry, I'm getting distracted, aren't I? Lazy cat wood glue. Right, moving on. The only real fixture, I think, is this phone. You'll sometimes get calls on this, but let us begin. We start off with a single loading bay, which leads out towards the football realm, over that way. And that is where resources come in, products get shipped out, that kind of thing. We've got 2 workers to start out with. That's the little gnomes down here. We've got James Anderson. Yes, Mr. Anderson, you will join us. And Emily Brown, starting out level 1. Well, they're not even level 1, but they do level up over time and get better. And we can specialise them and get more worker types as we go as well. Right now I've just got workers and haulers. And I can have up to 10 employees max in my factory. Now, let's actually get rolling, shall we? We need a break room for the gnomes to rest in, because, well, they get tired of using machines and things, so we need them to be able to recover. So let's go ahead and install a coffee machine and a Vendertron, because everyone knows that we need vending machines and coffee in a break room. And they need somewhere to sit, so I'll give them a break table, which is actually a picnic bench. Bit of an odd choice, that, but that should be good for right now. The coffee cups mark how exactly how many charges the place can hold, but the kettle Yeah, the kettle. Coffee cups is the number of charges. Kettle is how quickly it can recharge, but every duplicate of the same item is less beneficial. So the first table is 6, the second is 3. So diminishing returns on passive stats like that. See? And as you can see, it's been adding to this order list that's appearing down in the side here. Next up, we want to have a few general bits and pieces, I suppose. We actually need a plan. Let's order this and actually get a break room installed first. The problem with the break room is you can't have storage for products and materials, and you can't have workstations. Yeah, here comes the generic shop. And delivery. By the way, there's snow and there's mistletoe above the doorways, and they're bringing wrapped presents in because it's Christmas. So that's why I said that thing about Santa's Workshop making all the presents and things at the start. This game seems to have a Christmas update going on right now, which is just adds to the cuteness factor, honestly. There we go. That's that. And as you can see, it's all been panelled, and now my workers like to hang out in here when they've got nothing else to do. But also notice that cost a sizable chunk of change. Yes, we have to actually earn that back. So, let's begin with the market. Two things to note here. We've got a challenge. These challenges come from our contacts, and they give massive cash and experience, but they are usually kind of tricky to do. Or we've got a basic market set. We've got more advanced and complex stuff as we advance in our factory. But right now, this is the stuff that's available. And as you can see, there's something's going on. Like there's actually a history timeline here. Prices, demand for every time the market refreshes, and market refreshes every few days. But you can also see what it's doing over time as well. Like this one is steadily dropping, but this person will pay me more if I was to make a scarecrow, because 334 versus 432. You got to pay for the resources, you got to pay for the workers, you got to pay for the time because of all that. You got to pay for the workbenches to do all the things. Everything costs in this game, and you've got to try and keep on track of it. But there is actually progression in the game if we check the milestones. Complete at least 3 client challenges. So to progress through the various milestone ranks, we need to do client challenges to a certain point, as well as like execute things, levels, delivery of certain amounts of stuff, you know, just stuff like that. And I've already graduated. Certificates of Awesomeness. Ionium. Yes. Okay, right. Let's get back to what I was talking about. So, challenge. Hi there. I just opened a new shop close to your factory. And seeing as you are new here, maybe we could help each other out. From Crazy Steve Enterprises, the guy who made the how to carve gnomes. And he wants me to carve his gnomes for him. So, yeah. Well, he wants 3 units. He'll give me 3,000 cash and 3,000 odd reputation. However, there is a deadline on challenges, which there isn't if you're making just basic products for sale to the market. And normally it's a lot more stringent, but this is the very first one, so it's 50 days to do. So I could accept it outright, but it's always good to have a plan. Here we go. Checklist. Design production process. Choose materials. Match target attributes. Buy workstations. Important. But that's because I get wood chunks imported. I've got a action which is detailing. 3 actions, and that produces carved wood gnomes. And I can save different plans to do things like this. So I could have different patterns of different machines in my factory to do different approaches, or to make things to a different standard, you know, that kind of thing. So this one just needs some sampling, but I need a machine for it. And that is this one, Basic Woodworking Station. Very useful multi-purpose thing, this, but it's a multi-purpose thing as well. So if we look, it's only like 25% effectiveness on what it can do. So it's a quarter speed, but it can do a lot of different things. And then there are specialized stations as well, like this foundry is good at casting metal into molds, 100% effectiveness. This one's a paint specializing place, 100% painting. This one is for sewing, that kind of stuff. So we just need the woodworking station right now to do this. I'm contemplating future-proofing us a little bit by having extra woodworking capacity, but actually, no, it's probably going to be really useful, so let's grab 2 of them, I suppose, but they cost like 2,500 each, almost, so very costly. And we're going to be needing assemblies as well, so I'm going to grab 2 of them too. And I know this will take a massive amount of our money. Got it. So we've got some basic woodworking, we've got workbenches, and to coordinate these, I need to do some tech. Got it. And this unlocks as we go along, and we spend points as we level up our factory as well. Which, well, let's do that. But right now we can only afford 2 things. We can get store management, improve logistics by using specialized zones. Right now storage zones are just generic. This gives us export and workstation zones, which are quite useful. But more importantly, billboards. Unlock billboards in the shop, which is actually required for our progression, and I've gone straight for it because it's great. Because if we can get a billboard, I'm going to put down, I guess, 2, like that. You guys are fine there. And they're only 100 each, but this is good for work ordering, and it's part of how you have to organize your factory. But for now, just massive order. That's like 2/3 of my money gone. But even though they're only blueprints, right now I can actually go take this further. If I select this, I can link workstations to this billboard. It can only accept 1 type, so if I select this, I can no longer select the assembly tables. But I'll do it like that. And now if I look, this one can give tasks that are stored in it to the 2 waiting linked workshops. Let's do the same with this one for the assembly stations, just over there. Okay. And now let's get back to our planning. It's yellow now. Yellow means that we have got the right machine. We don't have the right machine, but we've got it ordered, so it's going to come in and be installed. So I can link, and I could link it to 1 of these workstations, or if I link it to the billboard, it automatically gets spread out amongst the workstations assigned to that billboard. So that's why I wanted to future-proof a little bit and get some extra production capacity, even though it's cost us a pretty penny. Oh dear. Anyway, let's check. 18 for the material, 3,000 odd for the payment. Profit is staggering. And I'm going to check batch as well, because batching allows it like complete 5 products at a time in terms of the ordering, so it's much more efficient in large production runs. But right now we're just going to make 3 things. And let's unpause the game again. Now, as you can see, our contract has appeared up here. It tells us our progress. There's actually a red and green progress bar as this counts down, so it can tell us if we're running behind or if we're running ahead in a given production run. And it tells us how many are completed as well. We can also do things like check the overview of the project to see what's assigned. So right now everything's here. 2 hours, 3 minutes, divided by 2 workstations in terms of work. But nothing is going on right now, so it's right now at 0. We can also overdrive our products as well. Overdrive increases how quickly a task is done at a workstation, but it makes things harder on your workers and the station itself as well. So things wear out, the gnomes have to take more breaks, that kind of stuff. But it is very fast though, and sometimes you might need it. Okay. One thing we don't have though is a storage zone. Let's place that down next. And for now, I'm just going to take, I guess, a little storage zone along here. That'll do. And this is just where people dump stuff. If there's no storage zones, you can't actually have materials flowing around your factories. So you need to make sure to keep storage space. Come along, generic truck. Give me the stuff. And yeah, nothing. But as you can see, that truck is carrying logs, and this is not a very impressive order. We've only got like a little bit of wood coming in, so that's all we need to do right now. And it's all being assigned to the tasks. Look at that little fella. Little gnome. And the progress bar is rocketing up. Unfortunately, because I batched it, it's all gone to one place because there was only 3. I should have thought of that when I did it, but hey. It's done now, so deliver. That summons a delivery truck, and then the product gets shipped out and sold. And this is Crazy Steve's personal truck because it's delivery for him. And as you can see, it's a bit rough, a bit patchwork, a bit, definitely a bit hard up. But that's because he's only level 1. As we do more work with him, he gets better, his business booms, and the quality of the trucks and things do improve a little bit. But yeah, there we go. That is that. We have a successful thing. So, let's get our projects running. What can we do? What can we do, actually? We have got assembly, and we've got general woodworking. What would make a good profit? Well, drawers make a good profit. Maybe we should make some drawers. The problem is the drawers is it might be a bit of a complex one. Orcish multi-tools can be used for bashing monsters, works as a can opener, as diplomatic deterrent, and one-round baseball. Okay. And the market demands 44 units. Oh good, it's woodwork and assembly. Sure. Let's do simple work on there, 49 minutes per thing. And then our assembly work is on there, which needs only 12 minutes. So the bulk of the work here is going to be just woodworking. And it does give us work time. So let's make 10 Orcish multi-tools. And it says that'll take 41 hours to produce. Mostly because of our substandard machinery, but hey, details. Sure, let's do that. Let's get some Orcish multi-tools in progress, because we've got to make sure to keep right going. Just got a shipment of cardwood gnome. They look amazing. People are already eyeing them as they get unloaded. I hope we can keep this partnership running. Payment received, 3,000 gold, 3,000 experience. Experience ticking up at the bottom there. I executed a plan with a billboard because I unlocked those straight away, so that's progress. And we've got 1 out of 3 things. Now, the most important part of the Orcish multi-tool is, of course, the nails, which are being parked right there. Though there are also some other bits and pieces. Oh, this slips. Oh dear. That's another thing. You can't just pack everything as close as you can. There is something here marked obstruction lens. So we can see the likelihood of people slipping if they are having to walk around in these areas. And this section may look okay, but it slows them down and it makes them more likely to slip. And then they've dropped that thing there, which is a very big slipping hazard. So, yeah, that's something to be aware of as well. Oh dear. And in fact, let's help things out a little bit. Let's get an extra worker and a cargo hauler, which just get thrown onto the board. Oh dear. Bonk, bonk. Right. This is another worker for the machines, and the green-hatted one is going to be just helping out in general. Okay. And that seems to be working out okay. The problem is that, of course, that these big Orcish multi-tool things are kind of... they take a lot of space. I don't think I have enough space to actually produce these things properly. So as you can see, it's like it's all the materials are getting loaded into the benches, and then it's all being worked on. Let's get some extra storage going on, and let's also be more efficient. I think I want to get something nearer here. Let's use this space, I suppose. There we go. And oops, I didn't approve it. When stuff arrives, it goes into the nearest general purpose storage so they can accept it, as far as I can tell. But I'm also going to organise this. I'm going to get some shelving in here. Just like that. Shelving is great. It multiplies storage and it allows things to be a lot more organised. However, people will avoid actually putting things on the floor in front of a storage. At least until the shelves are full, or if it's an object that won't actually fit. You know? Oh, they're putting That's helpful, thank you. It's not like I was going to use that bit. But yeah, as you're seeing here though, I can overlap the walkway bits. But the entire thing of a shelf must be within a storage zone, otherwise the shelf will not function. And sadly, you can't split a shelf between several different storage zone types. But there we go, that should help. And I'll make sure to put shelves into this bit as well, as soon as I can. Come on guys, keep working. Okay, good. Open the market. We can sell us our orcish tools. We've got 10 in stock, green number there. We can sell all 10 and we'll get 1,000 monies for that. Now, something I realised is you can set up a production run for this. You can start mass producing, and then you can sell anything you've already finished and have in storage. That's what this game allows you to do. You don't have to complete the entire production run before you sell. It's just it prompts you when the production run finishes. It's like, hey, this is done. You've got this stuff in stock. Maybe you want to sell it and get some money. Hint, hint. Might be worth doing something. Maybe some tables? No, the drawers are big and expensive. Let's have a look at that. Alright. This thing is a bit more complex. We've also got some customization options here. We've got gluing, we've got basic woodcuts and things, so this will need a lot of work. But I can shift-click to select both of those and tell it just to go into there. Yep. So that's all assembled. It's not prompting on anything because we've got a selection to make. Well, several selections technically. Which is, what kind of handles do I want to put into place? And it shows me down here what kind of operation. Like that's metal bending to make that one, that's a wooden handle. That's just a bit of detail work. That's a plastic formed handle. These little symbols are telling me what kind of operation I might need to do it. There's also something I didn't mention before, which is target stats. The market purchase request has stats for it, like style and durability in this case. There are more stats depending on the complexity of the product. And different materials have different potential ranges. Like, as you can see, a metal handle compared to a wooden one is going to have a lot more strength, but less style, if I form it in that way. So it affects it all. If I choose a wooden handle, this number selected, there's a +7 there. So if I order in wood, that produces scrap, which then just has to be, scrapped. It's because it's like, it's not going to be clean. But I'm going to choose the cheap wood. Actually the cheap wood all the way is not going to help. Let's actually select a different handle. Let's go with the good old standard. 17, 18. I'm going to have to make something out of a sturdier wood because it says ranges because I've not set my materials yet. To keep costs down, I want to use bright wood, which is strength 1, style 3. But some of it's going to have to be dark wood, which is strength 2, style 4, because otherwise I might undershoot my style requirement for this market order. There's no way to undershoot the strength, so making this thing purely out of wood is going to be fine. If I make that out of that, suddenly it's green, so the rest of it can be as cheap as chips. Da-da-da-da. There we go, all set. It's going to be a plain white, plain light coloured thing, dark colour handles. Let's try linking just the straight cuts in, I suppose. Okay, yeah, okay. So if I double click, it selects everything behind it, and then I can come in and just tell it to do a given operation. Noted. I didn't actually know that. Good. Next up, I suppose, let's check the market. 59.60, that's really healthy. The price is actually kind of low, it seems, for this product type. But every single thing I make, I'm going to be making like almost 300% profit margin. So that is going to be fine. Next question, though, is time. Like, if I make 10 of these guys, it's... What? 29 work days to make this stuff. Wow, this is going to be slow. 27 hours to do the gluing. 2 days to do all the gluing for this part. No wonder they think, wow, might not be in our best interest to actually do this one straight away. Jeez. Not unless we can speed things up. I mean, we can multiply the gluing speed at the very least. Let's see what we can do about that. We can invest. We can get a new machine in here. Let's grab a... Do we have a gluing specializing? We don't, actually. As it turns out, don't. Okay, might be best to leave that one alone for the time being. Then that is... oh dear. What about this one? I can tell it to make wooden carved bongos. Unfortunately, it won't be strong enough if I make it out of bright wood, so if I could make it out of dark wood. Ooh, yeah, look at that. Dark with a light top on it. Tasty. And... yeah, that should work a lot better. We only need the woodwork stations for that, though. And if we do that, yeah, that's going to work a lot better. Okay, we can actually do that one. It's not as... It's only like a quarter of the price, but it's a heck of a lot easier to do. 21 units. Let's batch up for 20. So that should take us 12 days. We need to make stuff. Sure. I'll also install a shelf just in this one here as well. Because, yes. Now, that pop-up there was saying I can actually tell it how many workers will come to a loading bay to help with loading and unloading a truck. Here we go. As you can see, they're stashing all the wooden stuff into that. And then here comes another truck with the order over the shelf. And then these guys are getting started. This is going to take a while, though. Dear. I guess my next question is there anything I can do with the assembly stations while I'm waiting? Because the assembly stations are idle. Let's check our market. Let's diversify. What needs assembly? Back scratchers? Needs some assembly, but it's mostly wood. I need something that won't require wood, because my wood is my weakness. Fancy hats. What's that need? That's sewing, actually. Well, we get sewing. By the way, in case you didn't notice, when we pick different things, it changes the appearance of the thing as well. Like if I do it like that, suddenly we've got a bent hat. Not that really matters. We need some style, though, so a bent hat is sadly not going to cut it. And if we do it like that, we might undershoot the thing. What are we... Comfort, durability, and style. Okay. 515, 515. So yeah, a hat with a buckle and a feather is apparently just fine for comfort and style. It's not very durable, but hey, who cares? And now I can choose what colour. Let's make it... it's Christmas. Let's make it green rim, red body. No, that looks awful. We need something to offset the feather. Let's make it green with a red. It's a leprechaun hat. Sure. And the thing is, it only requires a sewing station, which is just there. Let's just bolt this in here. That's like 3k to grab it, but okay. And we can safely make like 20 odd units of that, I think. So let's get that going too, I guess. 12 hours, 2 days. Yep, that's a bit more reasonable. And let's set it all to be sewn on that, because it's the only thing we've got, so execute. And as you can see, we've got the order. We can now prioritise something to move it up to the top of the list, and our workers will focus on that. But we've got 2 people working on the bongos, and we've got this third person over here just working on the fancy hats, because of course we need to have fancy hats. It's Christmas. We need fancy hats. We must have fancy hats while we play our bongos. To be honest, this first episode's not really gone the way I was expecting, because I was fully expecting to become the Duck Lord by the end of the first episode, but it's not worked out that way. For 2 reasons. First off, I was thinking that because the ducks are really easy to make, but ridiculously low market demand. Oh, but it just changed, as you can see. But it's actually it's expiring. It's being discontinued. So yeah, I could, if I'd gone into ducks, that would have been a problem, but it would have given us a lot of plastic focused production as well. Right now we're mostly in wood, which is its own challenge, honestly. And as you can see, the Christmas tree is sparkling. I'll explain why next time. But yeah, look at that. All the parts are being neatly racked and stored as this works, and it's just like he's standing there. He goes, "I need a thing. Step, step, so, step, step." Just like back and forth, piecing it together. That's actually an efficient assembly position there, but the factory layout is also not what I was quite expecting when I started. Such is the nature of a simulation game like this, I suppose. But anyway, I need to call it there, though. This has been I Am Mark 3. Thank you all very much for watching. I hope you guys are enjoying the show and this visit to Little Big Workshop. And I'll catch you all some other time, where I will drive the gnomes to distraction with my slavery practices. Or something. I don't know. I don't know where that was going. See you all later.